Today we will discuss NAT. NAT stands for Network Address Translation. Network Address Translation. Network Address Translation means it translates one IP address to another IP address. One IP address to another IP address. It can be private to private translation, private IP to private IP translation. It can be private to public IP translation. It can be public to public translation. It can be public to private translation. And also it can be IPv4 to IPv6 translation and IPv6 to IPv4 translation. So by using NAT, we can translate one IP address to another IP address. So we can translate private IP to private IP address. We can translate private IP to public IP address. We can translate public IP to public IP. We can translate public IP to private IP. And we can translate IPv4 to IPv6 and IPv6 to IPv4. So NAT reduce the required IPs. NAT reduce the required IPs. Required public IPs. NAT provides security by hiding internal IPs. By hiding internal IPs. NAT also provides communication between overlapping networks. Overlapping networks. This is about NAT. So mostly we will see private IP to public IP translation, public IP to private IP translation. We can see both, right? Mostly in our organizations, we will see private IP to public IP translation, public IP to private IP translation. The first we discuss what is the need of this NAT. Without NAT, what happened? So here, basically we have two types of IPs, right? Basically, we have two types of IPs. What are the IPs? Private IPs and public IPs. Private IPs and public IPs. Private IPs are used for internal communication and private IPs are free of cost. And the public IPs are used for internet access. If you want to access any internet server, we should have public IP. Without public IP, we cannot access public servers like Facebook, Google, YouTube. So generally here, whenever we take internet connection from any ISP, we will get public IP. Actually, we are paying money for public IPs. Right? See here, private IPs. Private IPs are used for internal communication. With private IPs, we cannot access internet. With private IPs, we cannot access internet. Remember this point. Private IPs are used for only internal communication. Within the organization, if your employees wants to connect to each other, we use the private IPs. And private IPs are free of cost. But these are not routable in internet. These are routable IPs in internet. But private IPs are very limited, right? What are the private IPs? Class A 10.0.0.0.02, 10.255.255.255. Class B 172.16.0.02, 172.31.255.255. Class C 192.168.0.02, 192.168.255.255. These are the private IPs. Private IPs are very limited here. I will give you an example. So where we use the NAT here. So nowadays every home, okay, every home there is a NAT, but indirectly we don't know. Directly we don't know. How I will explain here, okay? Because in every Wi-Fi router we have a NAT concept. In every Wi-Fi router. For example, see here. First here, I will explain here. One second. Okay. For example, I have a laptop. Second. Yeah. For example, I have a laptop. This is my laptop, and I have taken internet connection from Airtel. When I take internet connection from Airtel, Airtel gives one cable, right? So here, this is the internet cable. If I connect this internet cable to my laptop, what happened here? I can get internet access from this laptop only. This laptop only. I can get internet access only from this laptop only. And also I have some mobiles. I have one Android mobile, and also I have one iOS mobile, and also I have one more laptop. Now I want to use internet access from these three devices also. Here, if you connect this cable directly to this laptop, we can access internet from only this laptop only, right? We cannot access from here. So if you want to access internet from these four machines, from these four devices, we need to take 4 connections from ISP, right? Usually, okay. But if you want to take 4 connections from ISP, we need to ISP charge for every single connection, right? For example, each connect, for example, 500 rupees. 500 into 4, how much? 2000 rupees. This is the cost, right? For every connection, ISP will give the public IP. Remember this point. For every connection, we will get the public IP. But if you want to use internet from 4 devices, if you want to purchase 4 connections, this is the cost, right? This is the problem. And also we need public IPs or 4 public IPs. For example, nowadays every person using more than one device, right? Laptop and mobile. In every home, at least we have 2 to 3 devices are there, right? But if in every home, if there are three internet users, in the all over world, how many IPs required? Too much IPs required, right? But actually, we don't have a more IPs in IPv4. In IPv4, we have a limited IPs, only 2 power of 32 IPs only. But actually, we don't have a IPs, public IPs. But that's why here NAT came. NAT concept is came. So this by using NAT concept, we can use single public IP to multiple users. But how it is possible? Now I will, okay. So now here we have now write it. See, if you want to use a single connection, for multiple devices, we are using Wi-Fi, right? We are using Wi-Fi. But how this Wi-Fi works? Listen carefully here, okay? For example, this is the Wi-Fi router. This is my Netgear Wi-Fi router. And I have taken internet connection from ISP here. So ISP gives cable, right? Internet cable. This is the cable. I will connect this cable directly to Wi-Fi router like this. And I will connect these 4 devices to Wi-Fi wirelessly like this. Here. Now actually how this communication happens here. Here see, in every Wi-Fi router, by default we have a DHCP configuration. So in Wi-Fi router we have some IPs, okay? Like 192.168.0.12, 192.168.0.254. These are the IPs available in Wi-Fi router. So what happened? These are the private IPs. See 192.168, right? See 192.168 is the private IPs. So actually what happened here, whenever you connect any device to your Wi-Fi router, this Wi-Fi router provides the one private IP. So for example, this system gets IP address 192.168.0.1. This system will get IP address 192.168.0.2. This system gets 192.168.0.3 and this one 0.4. Sorry, 0.4, yeah, right? These are the private IPs. But with these private IPs, we cannot access internet. But how we are getting internet here? See, right now, my system is also using private IP. See, I will show you here. ipconfig space /all. What is my IP? My IP is 192.168.0.6. This is the private IP. But still I am getting internet. How it is possible? So here what happened? Here, listen carefully. In Wi-Fi router, by default, NAT service is also there. NAT, Network Address Translation. And whenever you connect this Wi-Fi cable, whenever you connect this internet cable, so here in Wi-Fi, public IP will be assigned here. Okay, for example, public IP is to 1.2.3.4. 1.2.3.4. This is my public IP. So this public IP is directly assigned to the Wi-Fi router only. Okay. Now what happened? For example, this user is going to access internet. So here what the source IP? The source IP is 192.1.0.1 and the destination IP is public IP. For example, Facebook IP. Okay, this is the Facebook. Facebook IP is 4.5.6.7. So this user is going to visit Facebook server. The Facebook IP is 4.5.6.7. So when this user is trying to access Facebook server, so here what is the source IP? Source IP is 192.168.0.1. Destination IP is 4.5.6.7. The first request goes to Wi-Fi router. Then this Wi-Fi router remove this private IP 192.168.0.1 and replace this private IP with 1.2.3. for the or public IP and send request to here. This is called translation. And whenever second device, whenever you are accessing a same server or another server, another public server from second device, same here also happens. Same source IP is 192.1.0.2. This IP will also replace with 1.2.3.4 only, and it will forward. So router perform this Wi-Fi router perform NAT, network address translation. So it will translate these private IPs to public IP, this public IP. This is the function in home Wi-Fi router. Same thing happens in normal routers also, routers and firewalls. But we need to configure manually NAT. But in Wi-Fi router, it is a default nature. In every Wi-Fi router, we have DHCP configuration and NAT configuration. So this is the purpose of the NAT. So this NAT reduce the required public IPs. Still we are using private IPs here for devices. But I have only one internet connection. One internet connection means only one public IP. But I am using this public IP for these all computers. So internally these systems are using private IP. But up to Wi-Fi router, these systems sends request to up to Wi-Fi router with the private IP only. But Wi-Fi replace that private IP with the public IP. This is private IP to public IP translation. Here, private IP to public IP translation. Public to private IP also is there. We will discuss later that one. So this is a NAT overview. So the NAT, why NAT is required. If you don't have NAT concept, for every user, every internet user require one public IP. If you want to get the public IP, we need to pay some money to ISP. But we can't, right? If we have in home, if there are 4 to 5 members, okay, if they want to use internet, we have to take 5 connections, right? This is the problem, okay, without NAT. But if we have a NAT, we can take only one connection and we can use that connection. We can share that internet to multiple users. So this is possible with NAT only, network address translation. Okay, so here, okay, so in NAT we have different types of NATs. Okay, so we will discuss in next session what are the NAT types. Okay, what are the NAT types. Okay, we will discuss. Okay, this is how NAT works. Okay,